Adam was average, painfully average. He blended into the background of high school hallways. His grades were unremarkable, a dull middle ground. He faded into the sidelines unnoticed and unimportant. He dreamt of excelling, of being seen, of mattering, but the clock of his life ticked on, each second indistinguishable from the last. He'd heard the whispers, of course. Every school had its urban legends. The stories about the old clockmaker's shop were always whispered, never spoken aloud. They spoke of a hidden shop tucked away in the city's labyrinthine alleys, a place where time itself bent to the clockmaker's will. Adam scoffed at the stories. They were just stories, meant to scare kids and keep them in line, weren't they? Then, life took a turn. His parents' arguments, always simmering beneath the surface, boiled over. School became a battlefield of failing grades and mounting pressure. Adam felt like he was drowning, pulled under by the weight of expectations. One night after another soul-crushing argument at home, Adam found himself wandering. His feet, heavy with despair, led him down unfamiliar streets. He stumbled, lost and hopeless, into a narrow alley he'd never noticed before. And there it was, tucked between a crumbling bookstore and a boarded-up pawn shop. The air around it felt different, heavy with anticipation. The shop sign, barely visible in the gloom, depicted an antique clock with an inscription underneath, Tempus Mutantur, time changes. The urban legend, once dismissed, now tugged at Adam's desperation. Could the stories be true? Could this be his way out? The inside of the shop was smaller than Adam expected. The air was thick with the scent of dust and aged wood. Thousands of clocks lined the walls, each one ticking at a slightly different rhythm, creating a strange, discordant symphony. Behind a counter piled high with gears and springs sat an old man. His eyes, sharp and knowing, seemed to peer into Adam's very soul. "You've come for time, boy," the clockmaker rasped, his voice like the creak of an old grandfather clock. Adam, his throat suddenly dry, could only nod. The clockmaker smiled, a chillingly knowing smile. "Time," he said, holding up a beautifully crafted pocket watch, "can be borrowed, but every second comes at a price." Adam, blinded by desperation, agreed. He took the watch, its cold metal a stark contrast to his warm skin. The borrowed time worked wonders. Adam aced his tests, effortlessly charming his teachers with newfound confidence. His parents, amazed by his turnaround, stopped arguing. Life was perfect. But perfect, Adam soon realized, was unsettling. His memories of the borrowed time were hazy, like watching a faded photograph. He felt a growing emptiness inside him, as if the borrowed time was hollowing him out. Then the nightmare started. The clockmaker, his eyes glowing an eerie blue, haunted Adam's sleep. The watch grew colder, its ticking a relentless reminder of his deal. Adam knew he had to undo what he'd done. He returned to the alley, to the shop with its discordant symphony of ticking. But the shop was gone. Only the faint scent of dust and the unsettling feeling that he was being watched remained. Adam was free from the clockmaker's deal, but at what cost?